Revolutionary, dangerous, banned. These are the cars that were never meant to exist. Factory-built masterpieces so extreme, so outrageous, their own creators tried to hide them from the world. I'm talking about automotive unicorns that broke every rule in the book. Secret prototypes locked away in vaults, speed demons deemed too powerful for public roads, and engineering marvels that still defy physics decades later. These aren't just rare cars, these are mechanical rebels that changed history. Picture this, multi-million-dollar masterpieces so controversial they sparked lawsuits, so advanced governments banned them, so brutally fast they still embarrass modern supercars, and one luxury coupe so insane it makes rocket science look simple. Stick around until number 4, where you'll witness the German engineering marvel that should have won a Nobel Prize for proving the impossible. This is the story of cars too wild for the world that somehow escaped the factory anyway. Number 1. 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO Breadvan. This is a story of how Ferrari's masterpiece got fed through a toaster and became legendary. The year is 1962. Ferrari had just birthed the exquisite 250 GTO, a rolling sculpture that's the envy of every automaker. Then, in the ultimate act of betrayal, their own engineers take a hackshaw to perfection and create this. Meet the Breadvan, a mutant so hideous, so brutally effective, it made Enzo Ferrari see red. That ridiculous loaf-shaped body wasn't a design flaw, it was aerodynamic warfare. While factory GTOs struggled, this Franken Ferrari was carving through corners like a hot knife through butter, shaving 5 seconds per lap. 5 seconds. Here's the delicious irony. This abomination wasn't built by some rival, it was the brainchild of Ferrari's former racing manager, Count Giovanni Volpi, who basically said, "Watch me beat Ferrari with their own car." Enzo was so furious he launched legal battles to have it destroyed. Today, this rolling toaster oven commands $30 million at auction because in racing, beauty is optional, but winning, that's everything. And if you think that's savage, wait until you hear about the time Lamborghini's CEO built a car specifically to eat dinner alone in. Number 2. 2017 Lamborghini Egoista. Behold, the automotive equivalent of buying yourself a private island just to avoid small talk. The Lamborghini Egoista isn't just selfish, it's a $4.3 million monument to antisocial behavior that makes Batman's Tumbler look like a minivan. This is what happens when you cross an F-22 Raptor with a stealth bomber, then let a Silicon Valley billionaire raise it. The cockpit, a single carbon fiber sarcophagus bathed in radioactive orange lighting so aggressive, OSHA would probably ban it. The steering wheel looks like it was stolen from a Eurofighter jet. The passenger seat deleted to make room for the owner's enormous ego. Here's the tragicomic genius behind it. Lamborghini's then CEO Stefan Winkelmann woke up one morning, looked in his gold-plated mirror and thought, you know what my life needs? A car that tells the world I make enough money to never need a designated driver. The specs read like a villain's shopping list. 600 naturally aspirated V10 horsepower, enough exposed carbon fiber to trigger an environmentalist panic attack, a driver-focused interior that's really just a cry for help, the turning radius of a cruise ship because who needs friends when you can't parallel park anyway? And the pièce de résistance, Lamborghini unveiled this glorious screw-up to practically on Ferrari's 50th anniversary. That's not shade, that's throwing the entire rainforest at your rival while cackling maniacally. But if you think that's petty, wait until you hear about the Porsche so fast the US government classified it as a ballistic missile for a full decade. Number 3. 1986 Porsche 959 Caliper Spec. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the automotive equivalent of showing up to a knife fight with a plasma cannon, the Porsche 959 Caliper Spec. This wasn't just a car, it was a technological atom bomb dropped on the automotive world. When the 959 first rolled out in 1986, US regulators took one look at its twin turbocharged all-wheel drive witchcraft and basically said, this can't possibly be street legal. And for 10 long years, they were right. Here's why America panicked. 450 stock horsepower was already insane for the era. Advanced aerodynamics made it stick to roads like glue, computer-controlled suspension that felt like black magic. The NHTSA basically threw their hands up and said, we don't even have tests for this sorcery. Then legendary mad scientist Jim Canepa got his hands on one, Q, 973 horsepower, enough to embarrass modern supercars, 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, faster than a Formula 1 car of its era, a top speed that will still dust most cars on the road today. Let that sink in. While the rest of us were watching Top Gun in theaters and thinking mullets were cool, Porsche had already built what might be the most advanced car of the 20th century. This wasn't just ahead of its time, it was from another timeline entirely. But if you think warp speed Porsches are impressive, wait until you see what happens when German engineers say screw physics and build a 2.7-ton luxury coupe that accelerates like it's late for the rapture. Number 4. 2004 Maybach Accelero. Physics-defying payoff. Let's talk about the automotive equivalent of a sumo wrestler doing ballet. The Maybach Accelero is a 2.7-ton luxury coupe that looks like it should barely be able to move under its own weight, yet somehow accelerates like it's late for the rapture. This is physics turned upside down. We're talking about a vehicle that weighs as much as a small moon, 2,685 kilograms to be exact, generates enough torque, 1,100 Nm to pull a cruise ship up a hill, hits 218 miles per hour while carrying enough leather to upholster a small hotel, does 0 to 60 in just 4.4 seconds despite its battleship proportions. The backstory makes it even more ridiculous. Fulda Tires needed something to test their new rubber. Instead of using a normal test mule, Maybach said, let's build the most excessive tire tester in history. What started as a corporate experiment became an $8 million collector's item that defies all logic. Here's the kicker. That V12 twin-turbo engine doesn't just move this land yacht, it makes physics professors question their life choices. The Accelero's power-to-weight ratio makes no sense. It's like seeing an aircraft carrier outrun a speedboat. And that styling? It looks like someone took a classic 1930s coupe and fed it steroids for a decade. The Accelero is all present, nearly 6 meters long, with a grille so massive it could double as a park bench. This is what happens when German engineers get bored with being sensible. They created a luxury car that could shame supercars, a Grand Tourer that laughs at physics, and a tire testbed that became a legend. The Accelero proves that in the automotive world, sometimes the most ridiculous ideas create the most unforgettable machines. But if you think the Accelero is extreme, wait until you meet our final entry. A street-legal race car so hardcore, you need to take out a second mortgage just for the privilege of turning the key. Number 5. 2016 Aston Martin Vulcan. The car where British elegance goes to die, violently. Picture this, 820 snarling horsepower crammed into a carbon fiber missile that makes no apologies and follows zero rules. This isn't just a track car, it's a $3 million exercise in automotive anarchy. From the moment you write that obscene check, the real adventure begins. First comes the $300,000 driving course, because Aston Martin knows you're not qualified to handle this much crazy. Then you'll discover the luxuries Aston left out. Air conditioning, replaced by fire suppression systems. Cup holders swapped for G-force meters. A quiet cabin, the V12's earth-shaking roar makes conversation impossible anyway. The 7.0-litre beast doesn't just accelerate, it warps reality. The steering communicates like a telepathic link. The brakes could stop time itself. And that wild aerodynamic body, pure function over form, generating enough downforce to theoretically drive upside down. Yet somehow, through some miracle of British stubbornness, Aston Martin made exactly 24 of these glorious monsters. Because in the world of hyper-exclusive track weapons, the Vulcan stands alone. Too extreme for the street, too beautiful to ignore, and too insane to ever be replicated. The perfect finale to our list of automotive rebels that should never have existed. But we're so glad they did. So let's recap. We've got a Ferrari turned into a toaster, a Lamborghini designed for lonely billionaires, a Porsche so advanced it broke the US government, a Maybach that laughs in the face of physics, and a British brute of an Aston Martin that cost $300,000 just to learn how to start it. But here's the real question. Which of these mechanical anarchists would you dare to park in your garage? Drop your pick in the comments, and if you think any of these should have stayed buried, smash that dislike button, I dare you. And for those of you who actually have garages worthy of these monsters, you're going to want to check out our next video touring California's most insane luxury homes, where the driveways cost more than your house. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it, because trust me, after seeing these cars, you're going to need something to flex with at your next dinner party.